Hello, my beautiful butterflies. Welcome back to Medicine of the Soul. I want to talk about humility. What is it? How do we apply it? And I called you butterflies because I know you're feeling that transformation just like I am. And if you follow me on social media, I posted something, I think yesterday, that said something, honey, I'm an alchemist. Death and rebirth are my first languages. And let me tell you, if that's not the truth, I don't know what else is, because the amount of deaths and rebirths that I've experienced just in the last few years have been the scariest, but also the best things that have ever happened to me. And I'm sure you're the goop as well. Because what do butterflies do? They turn into goop and then they bloom into a butterfly. Or really, they crack open out of the chrysalis, if you want to get technical. But I want to talk about humility. What is it? Well, that is you not thinking that you're better than anyone else. How many of us have gone through life thinking that we're better than someone or something? I'm not going to do that. That's below me. I I know that I shouldn't do that because why would I? That's not for me. Or even if we break it down further, we have issues with ourselves. And so we essentially judge someone else or something else as less than us because we see ourselves on a pedestal. And we even do this with other people, putting them on pedestals. But we need a little bit of our ego, for lack of a better word, to get us to do things. Because we're not going to be good at everything. We're not going to be the 1 out of 100 that is just automatically good at every single thing that they do. Let's be real. We all have to start somewhere. But so many of the greatest people in this world started without knowing what they're doing. They just started. Can you believe that? They just started. And that's really all it takes. So, how do we balance the part of us that wants to think that we're better, but at the same time, not judge all the other things, people, and places around us as less than? Where is that line? Well, let me put it to you this way. And I feel like I've mentioned this before because it's something I practice in my day to day life. Anytime that you catch yourself judging either yourself, either someone else, maybe what you're doing at work, maybe what you're doing at home by yourself, anytime that you have that less than thought, that's you judging yourself for that same thing that you're judging outside of you. And sometimes it's about yourself and you don't catch it in the moment. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes it's, I drank a soda. That's a lot of sugar. Ugh, I feel so gross for drinking the soda. That's a judgment on yourself. So, how can we start unraveling that self-judgment and or external judgment and practice humility? Being humble with ourselves and with others. No one is better than me. We're all human. And yet we still look up to people. We still look down on people. And that even applies to people, not people, to places. Because how many of us, when we're traveling, We think, oh, I'm not going there. I've heard terrible things about it. It's not safe. But yet, how do you know? Granted, yeah, there's some places that we shouldn't go. I know that. Do your research, obviously. But where do we draw that line? And I don't have everything figured out. These are just things that come up in my life, and I sit with them and I set the intention every day to be a better person, to know myself better so I don't treat others the way that I don't want to be treated. I want to wake up and love the life that I've lived, to know that I have loved every single person that's walked into my life, whether they stay or leave, to love myself as much as I love others, to treat myself as kindly as I would treat anyone else. And so when we practice humility, you won't get it right every single time. There will be moments where you fall. You fall back into judging yourself, you fall back into judging another, and you fall back into holding yourself back, holding yourself up, holding someone else up above you. No one is better than you. Nothing is greater than you. And yet, why do you choose those people, places, and things as such? And that doesn't mean that you shouldn't surround yourself with people that challenge you. Being challenged and putting someone on a pedestal is different. We want to surround ourselves with people that sort of intimidate us a little bit. We want to grow. That's the whole point of this human experience, is to feel your feelings and grow, evolve. If not, you're going to stay the same. You'll stay the same. And that might be okay with you. It really might, which is totally fine too. Maybe that's what you came here to do, is to just live. But if you came here for more, if you came here to really live, and I mean the scary times, the times that you feel so alone that you don't know what to do, the times that you surrender and it's the greatest experience you've ever had, and the time that you want to come home to yourself and know that there isn't anything greater than you in your life, then you got to start thinking about these things. You got to start asking yourself, what is actually true for me? How can I be authentic? How can I live with integrity? How can I practice humility and being humble? And how do I grow? All it takes is sitting with those questions and really understanding your emotions. Easier said than done when I break it down like that, but if I can do it, you can do it. And once you start, you won't want to stop. But just know that if you do stop, it's totally fine. You got as far as you needed to go. But I guess I just had a moment where I thought, wait a minute, I'm not better than anyone else. And yet, why are there times where I feel like I'm less than everyone else? And I know we've all been there. We've all had that moment. We've all wondered where life is going, or why it's going in the way that it is, whether that be in your career, whether that be in your family life, whether that be in relationship, I don't know, whatever you choose the theme. We've all had those moments where we envy what someone else has. And yet that taints the relationship, doesn't it? When we envy someone else, not practicing humility because we think they're better than us or that thing is better than us, when we envy that, that automatically taints the relationship. And you can feel the difference if you pay attention. If you pay attention to when you show up authentically, knowing who you are, loving who you are, and then paying attention to those times when you feel less than, you'll notice the difference. It's like a whole body response almost. Or you can even simplify it to eating McDonald's versus cooking your own dinner. You can feel the difference between the two. And if you tell me you can't, we're going to argue because I know you can on a deep, deep intuitive level. And so these are just things that I think about because I am not immune to the human experience. Yes, I'm secure and yes, I love myself, but I have moments just like every one of you. I have moments where I come up against things that I've moved through 1,000 times. So just keep on chugging along. Ask yourself, how can I be authentic? How can I live with integrity? Am I showing up in a humble way? Am I practicing humility, which is also humble? And am I practicing love, not only for myself, but are my actions aligning with love for others? Am I in service? I promise if you practice asking yourself that on a daily basis, your life will change. It's only a matter of moments that it will. In fact, in that moment that you ask those, your life changes. And yeah, you might not see it right away. You might have to wait a little bit for your reality to reflect that. But just know it will. It'll change. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that change? Or do you love your life so much right now that you're not willing to ask yourself those questions? There's no right or wrong answer. Only you can answer that. And whatever is true for you, it's true for you. It's the only person that it needs to be true for. Everyone else can fade away because this is your experience. It's not anyone else's. So anytime you judge another, you're judging yourself. I love you. I hope you have a great week, great month, great year, great eon, century, whatever. I'll talk to you later.